Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
Elneny! Go Elneny! He's on the bench. Oh!
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. We've got Aben with us. Actually, we were hoping that we would have more group of everyone along with us, but Aben is here today. Hi Aben.
Hi Picasso.
So we are
Good
here
to be back here,
good.
and especially after a win.
After the game, I was just having all those. Should I call 911 to have ambulance? And all those things. I was walking around like I think I did around 15,000 or 16,000 steps in that last 10 minutes, like pacing around the room.
So I was watching the game. Obviously, we'll get into the details later. But I was watching the game, so everybody near me was similar. So there were phases of the game where we are all happy, relaxed, no issues, singing Super Mikateta every 5 minutes, then not London forever. But towards the end, it was like everybody had their heart in their mouth, waiting for no, not again. Even a corner was so scary during those times. But and the moment final whistle went, everybody was like this. Phew, finally we've done it.
So if you guys haven't figured it out, we are going to talk about the Leeds game that we had recently. That's the whole idea. So I am being blamed that I don't mention like, share, subscribe, comment a lot in this video. So I am going to mention it right now. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment in anything that you want us to discuss, because we are hoping that we would increase, or increase the conversations that we have been having, or increase the quality of the conversations that we have been having. Anyways, with that out of the way, see, even I understand what you're saying, right? Like all this stress and everything. I think it's because of two things. One is because we have seen this pattern over and over again, where we have these big games and we falter, right? That is one of the things. That's the PTSD of an Arsenal fan. But the other thing is that we have something that we can aspire to, and we are afraid to let it go now that it's so close.
Yeah, definitely. So I think our future is in our hands now. We have complete control over it. And when you have something to lose, it's even more scarier. You're very right. But having said that, see, this weekend everybody dropped points. Everybody in and around us dropped points, and these are the general weekends when we're playing at the end. We generally drop the ball again instead of capitalizing it. So I think that probably added on to that. And yeah, I think it was nervy, but for most of the part of the game, it was comfortable. And in the end, what matters is the 3 points.
The thing is, right, like top four in itself seemed like a long time ago. Like we were there in top four, what, 5 years ago now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Half a decade. Half a decade ago, we were in top four. And it's very scary to think that like we might get in, or we might lose it on the next couple of games.
See, I think competition has increased. Premier League competition over years is increasing year by year. So I think that probably added to the fact, and our decline, everything coincided together. So I think, yeah, if we get top four, even for me, even if we don't get top four, if we finish in top six, for me, it is still a successful season. But obviously, coming so close here, now we have to get it. We have a 4 point lead over Spurs at the moment.
We have yes,
Yeah, I think it's a 4 point lead. Yeah,
4 point lead over Spurs.
yeah, 4 point lead over Spurs with 3 games to go, and we play against them on Thursday. We haven't done well away to Spurs off late, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I think the
let's
last
hope we
game
change
was
that.
against 2014 when it
Yeah,
was a
let's
split.
hope we change that this time.
Don't remind me of Spurs game. I'm already like stressed out.
Oh, that will be one hell of a game.
I've already like mentioned to I've been debating about like taking the day off or you know taking an appointment or something. The stress is too much. But the good news to start off this week, or at least Friday, it seemed like a long time ago, was that Arteta signed an extension to his contract, which was which was not surprising, but the timing of it was surprising, right? Especially not just Arteta, the women's team coach, what's his name, Joanne or
Jonas Idol, I
Jonas
think.
something,
Yeah.
yeah. So he signed an extension to, and especially because women team they played the last game on Sunday, and that was a title decider, right? Like I mean, it was not a title decider, but it was a hopeful title game for us, which we won, but Chelsea won too, and they retained that title for the third year running. It was the timing of it was a surprising one for me. Were you surprised about the timing of it?
No, I think it was fine. They're both doing well. I think in WSL, the women's team was challenging for the title. It
Mhm.
went to the last day,
Yep.
and probably I think halftime scores we were probably winning the title.
Yep.
But obviously Chelsea won, and then we lost by a point. So it's
United
a
could
successful
never
season.
do anything right, like be it be it the
Yeah.
men's side or the women's side.
So, so I think from a woman's point of view, I think they probably wanted the coach. The coach is doing well. Why not say timing doesn't matter actually? Arteta, I think the jury was out in the beginning of the seasons. We ourselves have discussed many times. We'll give. I remember Deepak telling, we'll give Arteta till this date how many wins he has or how many points he has. So, but he's proven what we have seen is he's got us believing in him as well now. The entire fan base is believing, and that's resonating in the stands as well. So every 5-10 minutes, the most sang chant at the moment is Super Arteta. That's the belief the fans also have in him now. Players obviously have that. So I think it made sense to renew. I think Arteta said that the renewal offer was up on his table right after we lost the 3 consecutive games itself. But obviously, they decided to announce it now, etc. And he also probably. But I think for me, timing was not weird. It's the positivity that is surrounding us, Arsenal football at the moment. So I think it just adds on to that.
I think it's also like because of the reason, right? Like I mean, with the transfers coming up after 3 games, he has to start on negotiations. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's although the transfer window opens after that, like whatever date it is, it's usually like for example, today we got the news that Haaland has signed for Manchester City, which means like I mean, no one could even dream of the Premier League title for another year with City winning it handsomely.
You never know. Let's see.
But it's Ellen's dream of Odegaard convincing Haaland to come and play for Arsenal. That's gone now. That was
See, convincing Haaland was always going to be difficult. To compete with the financial might of some of the other teams, it might not be possible for Arsenal. Not in terms of the signing fee that we give the club, but in terms of wages, I don't think we'll be able to compete with the likes of City, etc. But yeah, I think Haaland is Haaland. City is where they are. We are still miles away. I think we are aspiring to reach that place where players like Haaland would choose us. We should be one of the top priorities or top choices for any player to come and join us. That's where we want to get to, right?
true, true, and that is very evident in the gameplay. I mean, getting back to the game, right? Like, I watched the Manchester City game and I watched our game, and I saw like I mean we have talked about this a lot, right? Like the patterns of the play is similar to Manchester City, but I was very surprised at how much it is similar. Like um, the the movement, the way where the players are. The only difference is that the quality, right? De Bruyne, when he fires in a ball to his right back, the right back would be able to take it down in the first touch and put in a cross. But ours, it's more like sometimes, like, I mean, Tomiyasu, if he plays, yeah, he would be able to do that. But if it's Cedric, he's not able to bring that down in the first touch, or like.
I disagree. He can bring it in the first down. Quality difference is there. I don't disagree on that. But obviously there is. So we are a team which is rebuilding at the moment. We are not one of the top teams. It's as simple as that. We don't have the top players, but we've got a very good core team now. And I will not accept anybody saying that even Cedric cannot hold a ball down, because Cedric, Elneny, and holding players like those have contributed immensely to where we are now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is something that was very surprising, especially because we had this conversation about Arteta earlier this season and even before, like last season, we were having the
Forget long back, even 3 games back or 4 games back when Partey was injured. Everybody, Partey was injured, and with the losses against Brighton, Southampton, we had many people would have given up hope that no, nothing is going to
No,
happen.
no, I get that point. Like, no, what I was getting through to was that we had the discussion about how Arteta is able to coach only the first 11. And if the first 11 doesn't work, then we don't have anyone to come in. Like, even I think, like, even that FA Cup winning run, during that time we were talking about how substitutions are not helping because Arteta only works with the first 11 team, and anyone who comes
No,
in,
so
like,
I think it's more of our squad depth, to be frank,
yeah.
because when you look at our bench, it does not exude confidence.
Yeah,
It's
but
as simple as
again,
that.
like, even with that bench, like, no one would have seen the Eddie and Ketia. Like, we didn't
Oh
see
no, no, no.
Ketia
See,
coming.
he didn't show us anything to see, and probably I think in all fairness, he didn't get an extended run in the team, or whenever he played, he didn't impress us. I think we all were against Eddie playing, or
Yeah, we
our
all
striker situation was
we
pathetic
all were
after.
against Elneny. We all were against Cedric.
Yeah, exactly, and that's because they put in performances like that. We have seen them put performances like that, so that's why we were against it. So, but I think the situation forced Arteta to play them, and they have actually proven that they were able to contribute. Especially Elneny, he's been terrific since the time he's been putting in a shift.
I mean,
Com-
I hate to say I told you to so to you guys, but I did tell you that Elneny was a very good backup. He was not
I wouldn't say he's a very good backup, but he's a good squad player. We still need more better backup players who can be, like, for example, what are we looking for in the transfer market in the coming transfer window? What are the positions we are looking at? Forget the striker position. We're looking at midfielders.
I think so. Yeah, we would look
Yeah,
at least one midfielder. Yes.
yeah. That's because we've got only, I think, our strongest midfielders at the moment are Partey and Saka.
Yeah, Pate and Shaka, but also like,
Now you got Elneny who's doing well in the last 3-4 games, but you need more competition for the places. Now, if you look at Smith Rowe and Martinelli now, they are doing well. They're feeding off each other. The competition is bringing the best out of them. So similarly, we need every big team which has a very good squad needs competition of places across the board. Starting from every position, there has to be competition.
yeah, but I'm still saying, like, Elneny is a better
Oh
squad.
no, no. For me, Elneny definitely. I am an Elneny. I wouldn't say a fan, but I am very happy with Elneny. I had never issues with him, and we've been reading that he's been offered a new deal, etc. I'll be more than happy to for him to continue and serve the club to the best of his ability. He quietly does the job when required, called upon. He comes, does his job, and goes. Simple as that.
Yeah,
No nonsense.
for me, that's the thing. I've always liked. I mean, I don't like the back passing side of things, but also, like, I never seen him put a horrific show, like a 5 on 10 performance or a 4 on 10 performance. No, he has always put in like this 7 on 10. Like, he has always, like, he has never had a really bad game. He has had like meh kind of games, but still, that's just El Neni, right? Like, that's just how he is. And I've never seen him complain about anything, about game time, about like all those things. So yeah, and he is a Wenger signing, so of course I'm gonna trust him more than anything else. So the Wenger aficionado, that's what I call myself. But the game started like pretty much how we wanted, right? Like the only surprise was that I thought Cedric would be playing left back and Tomiyasu would be playing right back. But I mean, that just proves that quality is the difference, right? Look, like Tomiyasu didn't put a foot wrong in the game. He was
Oh no,
probably like close
I
enough
think
for the man of the
I
match.
think it was a very good decision to play Tomiyasu at the left because I think Leeds their most potent threat is Rafinha, who plays down that flank. So I think it was a good shot, and Tomiyasu being ambidextrous helps a lot. So
And
he
the top,
can.
like, I think like this is one of the best Martinelli games in a long time, and that is a lot to do with.
Oh yeah, yes. I think Martinelli off late hasn't been at his best, or uh, he's been invisible in games, you can say.
Yeah.
But I think this game was amazing, and even Tomiyasu didn't put a foot wrong. He was our best defender on the pitch. There's no doubt in that. Any ball that comes in, he heads it out or he clears it. Rafinha didn't even get a look in. So he did the job amazing. In fact, I would prefer we stay with this lineup to till the end of the season. It's much safer than Nuno playing. Nuno will improve. He's young, but at the moment, Nuno playing, this is much better than that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, never know what Arteta is gonna put.
You never know. So I think when Arteta was asked this question also, I think after the press conference they asked him also whether Tomiyasu would continue. He was like, "This was the formation for this game. Next game we'll see. This was just for this game. We thought this is the best
I
possible
just hope
lineup."
he doesn't take the overthinking from Pep part of a thing.
Oh yeah, I that is possible. You never know. For this first game, now technically, if you imagine, even a draw is a good result for us. It's not a bad result.
It's not a bad result, but I would want to win at
Oh yeah,
Spurs,
obviously you want to win. You want to make a statement. You
because
want to continue that.
if we win, not just that like we win, we get back to top four at their expense, which means we celebrate like Tottenham's Day at the toilet bowl. So that's like the best thing that could happen. And I am not going to jinx anything. I'm gonna wear like the same jersey. I'm gonna sit in the same spot, drink from the same glass that I am drinking. I'm doing exactly the same things. Like I'm even thinking of not showering because I didn't shower on Sunday morning when I watched the game. So I'm full on going all superstition, and I'm asking everyone who's watching it, listening it, to do the exact same thing. We cannot risk it. Cannot.
Let's hope it works out. But I wouldn't be surprised if Arteta goes a little defensive also.
Yeah, I can see it, but like yeah,
But I think obviously I'll not delve deeper into this now because this is probably something we'll talk about in the Tottenham preview.
I'm
But
not doing a Tottenham preview. I don't have the heart to do
in that case, I'll probably share my thoughts here.
it.
So if you Tottenham are a better team when they counter attack.
Yeah.
Okay. So and we're playing away from home. So I would want them to come on to us rather than us going on to them and then they counter attacking. Let them play, let them have the ball, play, maybe play three at the back. I think based on the latest update, White will be back for the next game. So maybe play three at the back with wing backs. I think we played three at the back against whom? Was it Chelsea?
I mean, we played some moment in Chelsea with three at the back.
Yeah, I think yeah. So we can try that. It'll be much defensive, but yeah, then there's a fair argument. You go for the attack. We are better at doing that rather than defending. But even Tottenham are better at counter attacks than actually playing through and getting in.
Yeah, but
So
for me, I would be like, if we score the first goal, we are always good. So I would go first half.
till then, your nerves will never settle down, right?
Yeah, yeah. So if it's like, if I would go four at the back, do what we are doing right now, don't change anything, just get the first goal and let them come and get it, because it's up to them, right? Like they have to win to keep
Yeah.
themselves in the title. So if we somehow keep them out, or we score the first goal and we keep them out till like 60th minute, they will risk, they will throw everything to win that game. And
Oh
then we
yeah,
could
obviously
and
they have
then
nothing to lose. They have
and
only
then
things to gain.
yeah, and then we could bring on like holding into the middle and then lock things up and then launch counterattack with them trying to break us down. That is exactly what I would want. Like 60th minute, bring holding in, lock everything down. Like yeah, he would just pocket everything and then like okay, now bring on, and then they try and attack us, and then we get one chance where Martinelli goes by and scores, and then humiliate them by doing and then Saka or ESR scores and they do the whole lying down on the grass celebration like Saka and ESR does that, and then we win 3-0 against Spurs. That's that's the ideal scenario, but not jinxing it, so not talking about it. Getting back to the Leeds game though, Aben, it was Eddie doing what Eddie does was very good to see. I know we have been slacking off Eddie a lot in this, in this podcast and stuff, but I was wondering at some point going like when we had like 15 games or something and we were talking about like the next 10 games or next 7 games, we kept doing that, right? Like next 7 games is going to be all finals, next 10 games is going to be all finals. During that time I was thinking like, yes, it's all finals, but where is the goal coming from? And
I think we always discussed the goals coming from either a Saka, Martinelli, or a Smith Rowe.
yeah,
We never discussed about goals coming from anywhere else.
yeah, and it's surprising that I think in the last 5 games he has scored what 7 goals or something.
I think,
He has
I think,
contributed 7 goals, I guess, right? Like
yeah. So that moment, I think we had, what do you say, we were right in our own ways because we hadn't seen this version of Eddie. He had done nothing to impress us. He had come on and played the cup games, but he didn't show the same what he's showing now. There seems to be some sort of hunger, or I think it's probably the Arsenal unity combined with. I think some people will bash me for saying this, but probably he's going to be a free agent by the end of the summer. To get good suitors, he maybe has that extra motivation to put in. But at that moment, we didn't see this version of Eddie. So we never knew. We always thought our goals coming us from our other young players in Saka, Martinelli, and Smith Rowe. Probably with Odegaard chipping in here and there and few headers from Gabriel, etc. But we never saw Eddie. I think, but with Arteta starting Eddie, now we're starting to see a different version of Eddie, or at least I think maybe an extended run in the team has gotten that confidence. Because even in the West Ham game, even though he didn't score,
yeah,
but he was closing down players so quickly. That's how we got our first goal
yeah,
in the Leeds game. Even the West Ham game, for me, he was one of our best players on the pitch.
yeah,
He was closing down players. And for me, the surprising part is he's holding up the ball as well. Well, his holding up is not that poor.
yeah.
Never thought he could hold up the ball as a striker.
I think he has filled up like physically in the last
Yeah.
year or so.
So I think he's doing an amazing. His closing down got us the first goal. The second one was a striker's finish. Obviously, Martinelli would get most of the credit for that goal. But I think uh, we needed these people to contribute. Otherwise, I think relying on only on young players like Saka, Smith Rowe, or Martinelli would not always work out. So I think it's good to see that Eddie is pitching in with the goals at a very crucial juncture of our campaign. And similarly, we discussed about Elneny, etc., Cedric, and even Holding needs a mention. These are all people putting in a shift to contribute to the bigger goal.
One person that I really wanted to talk to was Arun during this whole thing because I had a bone to pick with him about Pepe. There was the moment in the second half where the goalkeeper, the Leeds goalkeeper Melia, he was nowhere. He was in even in our half, and there was no one else. And he gets a ball, and instead of shooting it, even I would have taken the shot at that point. Instead of shooting, he just turns and does his dance, which just gets me so angry. So
Pepe, just
I
one
think
word,
he's
was
done.
pathetic.
I think he's done.
Was pathetic. He's done. I think he is. They're going to take a big loss and ship him out in this transfer window, the coming transfer window. There's no doubt in that. I don't see a future for him in this club, and I think that was evident in the way when he got the time he got, he didn't do anything spectacular. Even though we were nervy after conceding, I think he could have done many things better. Even that was blatant. The on the halfway line, he could just try to kick it into the goal.
That's
Uh,
that's all you have to do. Kick it and
Melier was
shoot the goal.
nowhere behind. He was
No
behind
one was
him.
there. Just kick
Yeah,
the
there's
ball.
nobody. Just kick the ball. So yeah, but obviously, I think Pepe is done. But yeah, I think we eventually got across the line, so it was peaceful at the end.
Arsenal are the only team that could give so many heart attacks, especially when Leeds went 10 men, like in first half.
So yeah, exactly. So we scored the two goals. I think both amazing goals. Then with Martinelli and the Luke Eiling challenge, a red
I mean,
card,
it's red.
perfect.
It's red. No questions.
It was a straight red, no questions. Everything working in Arsenal's favor. We had all the possession in the world. We were playing through. We had decent chances. We didn't convert them. I think there was a Martinelli chance which went above the post. There was an Odegaard chance which he
Just
hit
white.
wide.
Just white.
Yeah. So there were chances, but and then there was one. I think before the goal, or I think it was after the second goal. There's a brilliant Odegaard move also. He put the ball back in, but obviously nobody was there. Eddie's position was slightly not in line with the ball,
That
so
was a
he
great.
couldn't capitalize that. That was an amazing move.
That was
So
like
we were
one
doing
of those
everything right.
personal moves of like zips.
So it was like, so I was in the stadium, right? I was watching the game. So obviously Eddie's goal fired all of us. Everybody was singing Eddie, Super Mika Teta. So full on Josh, and then in between you are going down songs for the Leeds fans. So and it was so comfortable. We are all so happy, relaxed. I was like, okay, I don't get to see these kind of games a lot, but it's good to be relaxed with a two-goal lead. That's when we concede from a corner of all things,
Oh,
where we
started.
have not been conceding in corners, and we end up conceding in a corner. And then obviously after that it becomes nervy. Then again we had possession, but I think we didn't get that third goal. It was very important we got that third goal, but we never got that third goal. So we were always, as fans, we were nervy till the end. And they did have, I think there were few opportunities where they did well. Every time they got a corner, we were, I think, shit scared, because they do have quite some tall players. I think who was it? They got Sturged. I forgot his name, Sturgic or someone. He came in after Eiling was red carded. He's pretty tall, good header of the ball. So Diego Lorente, there are players in there who can head a ball in. So I think it was always nervy, but yeah, in the end, what matters is we won. Because if it was an Arsenal, an earlier version of Arsenal, I think we might have conceded and maybe taken away a point or something. But what matters is we winning.
Yep. Now I mean, I think we are winding down about this episode, but now the equation is that if we win in Spurs, we get into top four, like no matter what. If we get a draw, we need to win the next two games. If we lose, then we have to win. We must win the next two games.
Yeah, I think if we lose, we have to win both.
Yep.
If we draw, we can win one also. I think that will be sufficient.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the best option is like what you mentioned.
Just win. Just
For
win.
me, a win, probably Saka scoring with an Henry celebration on his knee. That's
That
what
would
I
be
would like.
awesome. That would be so good. So good. Like to celebrate getting back into top four at the toilet bowl is all I'm wishing for. Like, and I'm asking all the listeners, all the viewers, just like whatever is your superstition, whatever is your, if any of you come across, Aladdin's lamp during this time, I urge you to waste one wish so that Arsenal wins. I don't care. The rest two, you can have it for yourself. But waste one for Arsenal win. That's how much I want this. And on that note, thanks, Aben. Thanks for joining. I know this is not a game that we want to talk about, but this is a game that that I would rather talk about than like the upcoming North London derby. So thank you for joining in, and hopefully we'll
Thank you, Picasso. Always good to be here.
hopefully we'll meet after the win against Spurs. Come on, you Gunners.
Definitely.